Business owners deserve to have more effective time with their families. However, most of us are feeling burnt out, disconnected, and disengaged with our loved ones. So here are 10 mistakes that I feel that you can really avoid to feeling fatigued and frustrated, allowing you to enjoy more time away from that office and from your computer, right? So the number one thing is I thought I could learn it versus who do I know that can do it, right? It's one of the first mistakes that I made last year. Is I thought, you know what, I can learn that very simply. I've done that all my life. I found ways that I can turn around and do it. People have always found me handy, and even when it comes to like simple home renovations and stuff like that, I can paint the walls and fix the walls, and I can do all of that stuff. I can do flooring and everything. They find me very handy. But the problem is with all of that is I'm taking away time from other tasks that I can turn around and be profitable from, right? And with that, of course, obviously taking away time from my family as well. So one of the things that I can turn around and do and one of the biggest mistakes is thinking I can learn that versus who do I know that can do that, right? And usually when we find people that are suited and we live to those strengths, or they live to those strengths, they turn around and do a better job than what we can ever do, right? So live in your passion. It's one of the biggest ways that you can do that, and not go out and learn everything for yourself, but go out and find the people that can turn around and help you accomplish the same goals, the same task, right? So number two is I didn't build a team. I tried to do it all myself. So it kind of goes to number one, right? Is like I didn't think of who did I know, but I didn't build the team around me to turn around and support me properly, right? And of course that turns around and leads to frustration. It leads to anger, and obviously it leads to some discontentment as well. But when you turn around and you find the right people that, as I mentioned, that are living in their strengths and they can turn around and work and support you, that's what you really want to do. And a lot of people think that, you know what, I don't have the money to be able to do that. But the reality is that you don't always need money in order to turn around and exchange services, right? There's multiple different ways that you can turn around by maybe joint venturing, by offering a swap of services. Those are just two simple ways just off the front, and you'd be surprised a lot more people are open to it than maybe what you suspect, right? So number two is I didn't build a team, and I tried to do it all alone, so go find the right team, and I promise you're going to turn around and collapse time frames, and you're going to turn around, build it quicker, and you're going to save yourself a lot of frustration by doing that as well, right? Number three is I didn't save enough money, right? Obviously, with COVID and everything else hitting, there's a lot of people that are hurting and struggling at this particular point, but we can always turn around and save a little bit, right? And when you have a little bit of money in your bank account, of course, you always feel a little bit better about yourself, and it doesn't, the more the better, but it doesn't have to be a lot, right? As long as you have, I started with like $50 in my bank account, right? And I started saving a little bit and a little bit. Now, little by little, a little becomes a lot, guys. So it's just one of those things where the more money you have stashed and the more money that you have saved for a rainy day and everything else, the more confident you feel that you don't have to worry about the money and those issues as well, right? Sometimes you have to turn around and go get the second job suck, right? And I understand that it's not ideal and it's not really the thing that you want to turn around and do to take more time away from your family. But however, when you turn around and you have your finances in order, you're allowed to turn around and you can spend more quality time with your family as a result. So number three is save more money, just a little bit. And like I said, you're going to feel a lot better on about it. Number four, kind of going back to the money, focus on the problems versus the solution, right? So last year and whenever, but what you focus on expands, right? And what ended up happening is when you turn around and you focus on the problem, it becomes a lot bigger than what the problem actually is. So rather focusing on the problem, focus on the solution, and I guarantee that you're going to turn around and start finding ways to turn around and solve that problem. And that problem that you thought was maybe a big monumental problem turns around and becomes a smaller problem, right, as a result. Now, just going back to the focus, what you focus on expands. I drive a 2006 Envoy. It's red. It's a beast. It's beautiful, right? It's my baby. But I didn't realize how many people drove that car until I actually purchased it, right? So what I'm saying and where I'm going with that is what you focus on expands. So if you focus back on the solution, you're going to find more ways to turn around and solve that problem as a result of focusing on that issue versus the problem. So that's number 4. I focused on the problems versus the solution. Don't do that. Number 5 is I spread myself too thin. I focused on way too many things and I didn't focus on the right things and the money making activities, right? And this happens to a lot of us. We procrastinate. We get caught up in the 80% of our business that turn around and generate the lowest results, right? Sometimes they don't even create results, right? But we get stuck in it, right? So really, by turning around and building the team, it allows you to turn around and really start focusing on really those 20% of things that you actually make money at. And when you can turn around and delegate the rest of it and you can live doing those 20%, figure those out first, right? But when you live in those activities and when you do the 20% over and over and over again, that's obviously what's going to turn around and drive your business. And you're going to feel a lot better about yourself because your bank account's turning around and reflecting the business side of it as well, right? So guys, if any of this resonates with you and you'd like to grab a virtual coffee, by all means, go to booktimewithsheldon.com. I'd love to turn around and chat with you more there. Number 6 is I chase the money versus creating a dream lifestyle, right? So many times this is it. You turn around and you chase the money or you chase the paycheck and all of a sudden you wake up one day and you realize, like, how did I get to this position, right? How did I get here? You know, that was me in the automotive industry. I spent 16 years in the automotive industry and thank goodness someone turned around and pulled the plug on me because I don't know if I ever would have actually pulled the plug, but I realized now, 7 years later almost, which is astounding, I realized that I wasn't living in my true passion. Yeah, I was really good at what I did. I loved working with BMWs. I loved working with vehicles. But however, at the end of the day, it wasn't my true passion. Serving other people really on different platforms like this on YouTube was really one of my passions and more of a passion. And like I said, that's really come out as a result of all of that happening. So I chased the money, and so many times when you chase the money, you end up not being happy as a result, right? So chase happiness, start creating the dream lifestyle, start thinking about the dream lifestyle, and then start reverse engineering it on what you need to do in order to turn around and achieve it. And I guarantee that you're going to make that happen and make that a reality a lot sooner as a result. Number 7, I didn't read enough books, right? And so many times you think that, you know, just reading 10 pages a day can turn around and take you to a whole new place and a whole new level, right? And I really believe that when you're turning around and you have knowledge, or when you're turning around and really developing that knowledge, developing skills, books is a huge part of it, right? So much good information is stuck in books, and so many people don't take the time to read it, even 10 pages a day, right? Andy Frisella in his 75 Hard talks about reading 10 pages a day, and it's so important that you just do that. And for all you content creators out there, that's what really the beautiful thing about that is, that's where all content is created, right? Read a chapter of a book, go create some content on it and share that with the world. And I guarantee more people are going to turn around and resonate with you because there's only one version of you. There's only one opinion, and that's your opinion, right? And you get to share that with the world, and other people can turn around and take it as they may, but you're in the battle, you're fighting, and you're actually in front of the camera sharing your opinion, sharing what you believe. And I guarantee that that's going to attract more people to you as a result of turning around and being real, authentic with them as a result. So that's number 7. Number 8, I didn't exercise enough, right? I didn't keep fit. So with that, 20 minutes, 30 minutes a day, one of the things that I've started with my family in the morning is we do a little yoga routine, right? So my 7 and my 4-year-old are doing yoga with me in the morning, and it's one of my most favorite things that we do all day. First of all, is because we do it as a family, but number 2 is I'm keeping fit. I'm keeping my body more active as a result, right? With having little ones, you have to have enough energy to be able to turn around and go through a day of work, and then also have the energy to turn around and play with them also, right? So they're demanding, they take a lot of time and a lot of energy, and you need to make sure that you're keeping your health up to a high standard and a high peak so you can turn around and keep up with them, not only today, but in the years to come also. It's something that's very, very important to me, and one of the things that I didn't take seriously enough last year. So it's one of the things that I definitely want to do more of this year is exercise, to make sure that I have those energy levels to be able to not only stay and compete with them and play with them and stuff like that, but also to turn around and really play hard on the battlefield of business to be able to do all the things and focus on the things that I need to be able to do there as well, right? So that's number 8. Number 9, guys, I did not master my calendar. I showed up willy-nilly, right? I think it's Brendan Bouchard who said, you master your calendar, you master your bank account. And the other thing that it does is you master your calendar, you actually master your time. You start mastering your time. So you can actually start time blocking for your family, times that you aren't going to be at work, times where you aren't going to be in your computer or on your phone. And when you actually start to get really down to it, you start to book even your personal time, right? And when you keep yourself accountable to your time, that's when things start happening, and you start noticing that your bank account, as a result of doing the right task at the right time and continuously doing them and scheduling them out, you're going to turn around and notice that your bank account will turn around and reflect that as well, right? I used to show up to business thinking that I could do whatever I wanted that day in order to kind of move the needle. I could show up when I wanted, I could do whatever I wanted, but I found by doing that, by being really kind of willy-nilly with it, my focus wasn't there to be able to turn around and focus on the right task that needed to be done. By actually planning it and by actually turning around and time stamping it, it actually forced me to do it, and it kept me focused on the right things and the things that were turning around and moving my business forward and turning around and also making me money in my business. So super excited about those things, and those are all things that you can turn around and do and control in your calendar. Sorry, there was a bug there. So guys, number 10, right? Create big goals and include your family in it, right? So many times, sorry guys, silly bug. Right? So many times we turn around and we create big goals, but we never include our family in them, right? It's so important that we turn around and talk to our kids, right? When we're stuck in a computer, when we're stuck at, a lot of people are at home right now. And for me, I know one of our biggest challenges and struggles were when my kids were first at home with us was trying to pay attention to them. Both my wife and I are at home and we're working on our computer, so it was hard not to pay attention to them, and they're wondering why we aren't paying attention to them as well, right? So I know a lot of parents can turn around and relate with that, but those are things that really we had to overcome, and we had to get through that working, right? And by creating goals and by sharing it with our little ones, this is why mommy and daddy are doing it, right? This is why we are doing it. By sharing our goals, one of our big goals is Disneyland, right? Our kids love Disneyland. They love the Disney Channel. I remember when my parents took me to Disneyland and surprised me with tickets under the Christmas tree, right? We just celebrated Christmas. But that was 30 some years ago, right? So I want to be able to create the same experience for my children. So we talk about that stuff all the time, but in order for us to do that, we're going to be here. But they understand now that, if dad's in his computer or if mom's upstairs and working, that they can turn around and do that as well, or why they are doing that, and they understand that that's what needs to happen in order for us to be able to do this. So it doesn't take any more time to be able to turn around and share those dreams with your children as to why you're doing what you do. And then dream bigger. If there's a bonus tip to this at all, it's just dream bigger, right? We can all dream bigger. One of my mentors, just even talked about it the other day. I asked him, what would he do? And he said, I dream a lot bigger, a lot sooner, right? And I think it's so important that most of us turn around and underestimate what we can, or overestimate probably what we can do in a year, but we underestimate what we can do in 5, right? Going through the new year, you think about your New Year's goals and things of that nature. But right now, most people just have what they have or want in 2021. Right? No one, a lot of people, I believe, don't know what they want in 2022, in 2023, in 2025, right? So most people have never turned around and taken the time to turn around and really look at those goals and plan your life out to achieve that. And I think that when you do, you can turn around and hit those goals a lot sooner as a result of turning around and holding it in your head a little bit sooner. So guys, those are my 10 tips. By all means, if you love those, fantastic. Go check out my other videos on YouTube. There's some great ones. There's a great one with Holly Magnosi. She talks all about how you can turn around and use hand gestures on YouTube. And go check out her video right now. It's playing in the top left corner. Have a great day.